shift, the stakes are high. The mag breaks it down, no need to sigh. From EU rules to global news, Reg with Meg, your trusted views.
Hey guys, welcome back to our weekly Regulatory News Roundup. Today, we're diving into a topic that's been on the horizon for a while, but is now officially in motion. It's all about a small but significant change on your medical device labeling.
That's right. We're talking about the transition from the EC rep symbol to the EU rep symbol. It might sound like a minor detail, but as we know, in the world of regulatory affairs, the details are everything. The European Commission has now published the official amendment, and the MDCG has given us some fresh guidance.
Exactly. So let's start with the basics. For anyone who might be new to this, what exactly is the EC rep symbol and why is it changing?
Good question. The EC rep symbol is used on medical device labeling to identify the authorized representative based in the European Union. This is the legal entity that a non-EU manufacturer appoints to represent them within the EU.
Right. They're the main point of contact for the national competent authorities.
Precisely. Now, the EC in EC rep stands for European Community. The thing is, the European Community technically ceased to exist and was replaced by the European Union under the Treaty of Lisbon.
And that happened way back in 2009, so this symbol has been terminologically outdated for a decade.
It really has. The change to EU rep is essentially just bringing the language and the symbolism up to date with the political reality. It's a cleanup exercise that's been a long time coming.
Okay, so it's official now. What's the document that manufacturers need to be looking at?
The key publication is the Reference of Amendment EN ISO 15223-1-2021/A1-2025 in the Official Journal of the European Union. That's the formal act that harmonizes the standard. But for practical advice, the document to read is the new MDCG guidance.
The MDCG 2021-5 Rev 1 Appendix. We'll put a link to that in the show notes. This is the one that really breaks down the how and when for manufacturers operating under the MDR and IVDR.
It does. And the most important piece of information in there is the timeline. Manufacturers have until June 15, 2031 for devices under the MDR and June 17, 2031 for devices under the IVDR to complete this transition.
Wow, 2031. That is a very generous transition period.
It is, and it's a clear acknowledgement from the regulators of the real-world impact of a change like this. Even if it seems small, changing labeling is a massive undertaking.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just hitting find and replace in a document. You're talking about updating artwork files, printing new packaging, new labels, new instructions for use.
New inventory of old stock, coordinating with suppliers. The costs and logistics can be significant, especially for companies with large and diverse product portfolios. This long timeline prevents a mad scramble and allows for a planned, orderly transition.
That makes sense. So let's get into the nitty-gritty. What does this mean in practice? The biggest question is probably, is this a safety issue?
That's the most important point to clarify, and the answer is a clear no. The MDCG guidance explicitly states this is a purely editorial change. It has zero impact on the safety or performance of the device. It's about administrative correctness.
Okay, so no safety impact. That means no recalls, no field safety corrective actions.
None whatsoever. And that leads to the next key point. During this long transition period, both EC rep and EU rep are considered valid. They can coexist on the market.
So you won't get a nonconformance if an auditor sees the old EC rep symbol on a product in, say, 2028.
Correct. Not until after the June 2031 deadline. After that date, Only EU rep will be accepted on new products being placed on the market.
And what about products that are already out there? Say a device is sitting in a hospital or distributor warehouse in 2032 with the old EC rep symbol. Is that a problem?
No, and that's another crucial clarification from the guidance. Products that have already been placed on the market with the EC rep symbol can continue to be made available and sold until their expiry date. There's no requirement to relabel existing inventory.
That's a huge relief for logistics and supply chain managers everywhere.
It absolutely is. Now, for the million-dollar question, do manufacturers need to inform their notified body about this change?
Ah, the big one. Substantial changes, notifications, what's the verdict?
The verdict is no notified body approval or notification is required for this specific labeling update. Because it's a non-substantial, purely editorial change with no safety implications, it falls outside of the scope of changes that require notified body oversight.
Okay, that simplifies things immensely. So to recap, no safety issue, both symbols are okay for now, existing stock is fine, and no need to call your notified body. It's about as straightforward as a regulatory change can be.
It is, but there's a broader context here that's also really interesting. This amendment doesn't just introduce EU rep, it also introduces a generic XX rep symbol.
XX rep? Tell me more.
The idea is to create a harmonized global template. The XX can be replaced with the two-letter country or region code. Think about it. The UK now requires a UK rep, and Switzerland requires a CH rep.
Right. So this framework allows for UK rep, CH rep, EU rep, all using the same basic symbol structure. It's a move towards a more standardized visual language for regulatory representatives worldwide.
Exactly. It sets the stage for potential global harmonization on this front. It's a forward-thinking move that could simplify labeling for manufacturers who sell in multiple markets.
Okay, so let's shift gears and focus on the practical advice. If I'm a manufacturer listening to this, what should be on my to-do list right now? The deadline is far away, but we all know how fast time flies.
Procrastination is not a good regulatory strategy. The first, most immediate step is to review your current labeling. Conduct an audit. Where does the EC rep symbol appear? Check everything. Primary labels, secondary packaging, instructions for use, technical documentation, maybe even marketing materials.
Create a master list of all affected artwork and documents. That inventory is your starting point. Okay, what's step 2?
Step 2, start incorporating the EU rep symbol into new labeling artwork now. Any new product you're designing or any existing product whose labeling is up for a refresh for any other reason, make the switch. There's no reason to create new materials with the old symbol.
That's the low-hanging fruit. Build it into your existing change control processes. So you're not doing a special project just for this one symbol, you're just making it part of your routine updates.
Exactly. The third step is to document your plan. Create a formal transition plan. It doesn't have to be 100 pages long, but it should outline your strategy.
What should be in that plan?
It should reference the MDCG guidance, state your company's awareness of the change, and lay out the timeline for updating your different product lines. You might prioritize based on which products have labeling updates scheduled anyway, or based on production volumes.
Right, so it's a documented, risk-based approach to the transition. That way, if an auditor asks in 2029 what your plan is, you can just hand them the document.
Perfect. And the final piece of advice, which ties into the XX Rep framework, is to assess your multi-market labeling strategy. If you sell in the EU, the UK, and Switzerland, this is a great opportunity to rationalize your labeling design.
Instead of having 3 completely different label designs, you could create a harmonized template where you can easily slot in the EU rep, UK rep, or CH rep symbols as needed. Maybe even leave space for all 3 if the device is intended for all markets.
That's smart. It's using this mandatory change as a catalyst for process improvement and long-term efficiency, thinking strategically rather than just reactively.
So the overall message seems to be, don't panic, but don't ignore it. The timeline is long, the change is simple, and the regulators have made it as painless as possible. But a little bit of planning now will save a massive headache later.
That's the perfect summary. It's a welcome bit of clarity and a very pragmatic approach from the MDCG. This is one regulatory update that shouldn't cause too many sleepless nights as long as you have a plan.
Thinking strategically is key. On that note, are there any common pitfalls or mistakes that you foresee manufacturers making, even with the long deadline?
Excellent question. The biggest pitfall is complacency, seeing 2031 and thinking, I'll deal with this later. Teams change, priorities shift, and corporate memory can be short. Without a documented plan, this task could fall through the cracks until it's an emergency in 2030.
All right, that's a great overview of the EC rep to EU rep transition. A simple change on the surface, but with plenty of implications for labeling, strategy, and global harmonization.
Absolutely. Check the show notes for the links to the official documents and start drafting that transition plan. That's all we have for today.
Stay informed and stay compliant. Bye, guys.